of the greatest challenges we've always fought as men and will always fight as long as we live in our lives are challenges that comes from within us. You must notice something about our lives. The fight within most times is more serious and more, let's say, it affects us more than the fight on the outside. We have different ways or different relationship with the world that we are living in. We have the world in us and we have the world outside of us. Sometimes we keep believing that most of our problems are majorly on the people we relate with. Sometimes we consider the people that has hurt us, the people that do bad things to us, the relationship we have. Many times, many people or some persons have stepped on your toes and offended you and done one or two things that are not okay in your life. And in most cases, you may think that these are the people that contribute to your failure in life. But I'm here to tell you the real fight, or what really goes on in our lives that looks like it's actually the major place or the area that we should pay more attention to, which is ourselves. You know, when you travel to a place, another city, you go with yourself. Sometimes you may decide to leave your family or to stay far away from a friend because you don't want their troubles anymore. Yes, you intentionally do that, and sometimes you notice that such approach to that relationship do work for you, because when you stay away from people that give you trouble, they automatically stay out of your life, or you decide to draw some boundaries with them, with how you relate with them. But when it has to do with yourself, it becomes a different thing altogether, because the world that goes on the inside of you cannot be separated from you. You are yourself, you are your thoughts, you are your perspective, you are your decisions, you are your choices, you are, you know, how you feel, your emotions. That is who you are. And sometimes we are caught up in the web of struggling within ourselves and trying to overcome ourselves to become the best version of ourselves. Of course, you know, this is where the problem is. Now, fighting on the outside may be easier than the fight you do on the inside. Many people don't know that what is keeping them at the level where they are now, what is keeping them from moving forward, what is keeping their lives from transformation that God has given to them, is simply the fact that they have not conquered on the inside of them. God has a role to play when it has to do with transforming our lives, or giving us a better life, or making our lives much better than it used to be before. But we have an active role, which is very important. Okay, take for instance someone who is struggling with unbelief, or someone who's struggling with unforgiveness, for example. I think this will tell us better on what I'm trying to communicate here. Someone could be struggling with unforgiveness. Notice that unforgiveness is a war within you. Is actually what happens on the inside of you. It's a struggle within you. It's the feeling of sadness. It could even be a feeling of hurt. It could be a feeling of something that is, you know, you can't explain with your mouth or with your lips or with your words. Yeah, but this situation, or what brought about the hurt, what brought about the unforgiveness, is what someone else on the outside did. And in some occasions, you have actually handled the situation. Maybe you confronted the person, or maybe you decided to let the person go. But when you are done with that, there is this war on the inside of you that you might not easily get over with. And you see yourself, you know, being sad, being unhappy over that situation or over that person. And it stops your life, or somehow it delays your life. It causes you to slow down in your approach to the person, and it could get you to do something that is wrong. It could get you to stumble in life. You know, unforgiveness is not of God. Yes, we are meant to forgive. We have been given the ability to forgive by grace. We forgive by grace. Of course, I believe that forgiveness is something you can't just do in the flesh. The power to forgive is of God, because Christ Jesus was the first to forgive us. He died for our sins. He forgave us even before we notice what He has done for us. So somehow I believe that forgiveness is a grace that comes from God. Sometimes it's not easy to forgive, because as long as we live, people will always wrong you. So, but another thing some people don't do or don't learn how to do is how to forgive themselves. Like, you just have to forgive yourself for going through that situation. You just have to forgive yourself for, being in a situation or exposing yourself to that relationship where someone had the opportunity, or you were vulnerable to the person hurting you or hurting your feelings. Yeah, sometimes you just need to allow yourself to go through that forgiveness process, because now is a war within you. It's not about the other person. The person who may have done wrong to you might not even remember what he or she did to you. That incident may not be existing to them, and they are living, of course they are living their life freely, and you see yourself struggling, stumbling, and as long as the devil is active, and like the Bible describes him to, always walk at, striking the believer, afflicting the believer. That's him, because he has many devices of which he fights the believer with. So he will always inspire you to do something wrong. Sometimes wrong don't come to an end because men find it difficult to forgive. Yeah, one wrong leads to another wrong, and it keeps leading to different kinds of wrong. People react negatively to some encounters they have with their friends on the outside. And now it is no longer about the person, it's about you, it's about the struggle within you. You were not able to conquer the feelings you had. You allowed your emotions to overwhelm you, the emotions of sadness, emotions of hurt, by allowing the power of your mind to actually cultivate something out of it. Yeah, but I want you to understand that you have the power to overcome unforgiveness if you're dealing with that on the inside of you. So self has what it takes to stop you from moving forward. The greatest enemy of man is self. The greatest enemy of man is the negative side of our lives that we are meant to always conquer. We are meant to always defeat. Yeah, hurt is a war on the inside. It's not easy to get over it, but you must learn to get over it, because if you don't get over it, you will struggle. Of course, some people are hurt with the process or what brought them to where they are today. I want you to understand that if what you have been through or what you have gone through was not able to stop you or take life outside of you, it means that you overcame. So whenever you think about what you have been through, where you're coming from, one thing you should realize and thank God for is that you were able to conquer. Life is all about, I would always say that life is all about, it's like a battle, it's like a war, it's a challenge. Like when people throw challenge at you, it doesn't mean that the person has defeated you. A challenge is more like someone coming before you and challenging you that they were going to beat you or they were going to take something from you. Now, what you need to do in the face of challenge, or how to react in the face of challenge, is rising up wherever you are and gathering the muscles to fight the challenge, because right now it's still a challenge, it's not yet a defeat. So if you fight a challenge, you could win, or the challenge could win you. So you don't allow your past to win you, because you have already won. Some people conquered their past. You are living, but just like a fight, when you happen to have a fight with someone, sometimes before you win, you might have some bruises. Yeah, you might have some bruises, and after having some bruises, you still find yourself on the winning side. I think you should be excited if such is your story. If your situation, your past life, past experiences, whether it's coming from people, situations, or whatever it is, wherever it's coming from, you were able to still survive the process and you are still living. Don't always allow yourself to go back to the past, because I find some people struggling with dealing with their past life. They are in the present, but they are also in the past, and sometimes they are caught up totally in the past. Like, they are not in the present. They could be with you, but the next minute you see them depressed, the next minute you see them sad, angry, and you'll be wondering what is wrong with this person that was just smiling with you a few weeks ago or a few months ago. Just the issue there is not that they are angry at the present, but